Oh hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and share. Please feel free to write to me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any questions regarding this video or any video that I've posted in the past. If you have any videos that you would like me to make, please let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. This video is in response to a viewer. She wrote to me, she said, I have a lot of green bean in my summer garden. I like to find a good way that I can stir fry green bean, and I like to cook it quickly, efficiently, because I have way too many green beans that I need to use up. Now, green bean is wonderful during the summer when it is in season. You can buy them in a grocery store, and they're usually in really excellent shape. And many people find it green bean is wonderful to eat, but a lot of people don't know what is the best way to cook them. And some people use the traditional method. They will cook green bean with bacon, which is one of the typical way, but that takes a while. However, a green bean is also one of the most abundant summer produce. And here is some green bean that was given to me by my neighbor. And he actually grew two kinds of green beans. One is the green one, and one is the purple one. The purple is a different variety of the green ones. They are really very pretty, and I really enjoy both cooking them as well as eating them. Prepping green bean is really simple. All you have to do is to cut off the end, and then you cut it into whatever the size that you want. And usually I cut them into about bite size. And this will be easier for me to cook them, and I can cook them with all different kinds of ingredients. Now, cooking green bean can be challenging because green beans tend to be quite tough, and if you stir fry them, they usually will take a long time to get to the texture that you want. So the best way to cook green bean is to blanch them. This will allow you to control the texture of the green bean, and it is very easily done. I use my Cuisinart 14-inch stainless steel wok. As you can see, the wok is really versatile. You can use it in so many different cooking functions. And that's why I prefer a stainless steel wok over any other type of wok materials, simply because of its versatility. In fact, I use my stainless steel wok probably for almost 99% of all the cookings that I do. And I do all kinds of cooking, such as, in this case, blanching the green bean. Now, one thing you notice that once I start blanching the green bean, the purple color start to disappear, which is fascinating to me. I blanch them for about somewhere between 4 to 5 minutes. I taste them and I decide whatever the texture that I want, and you can blanch them as long or as short you would like to. And then next, that is a really important step. I transfer the green bean into a bowl of cold water. Now, a lot of people actually even suggest that you should transfer them into ice water. The cold water have two functions. One is that it actually, obviously, stops the green bean from cooking any further. But the other very important function of the cold water, it actually seals the tissue of the green bean. It makes them a little bit more firm and crunchy, but still soft within. For this dish, I'm going to cook it with some shrimp. Now, these shrimp are extra large, or sometimes referred to as jumbo shrimp. It is a 16-20 count per pound, which is one way for people to describe the size of the shrimp. This shrimp comes with shell, but it's referred to as easy peel because you can remove the shell readily. Now, this shrimp actually quite inexpensive if you know where to get it. I bought this at Fresh Time, which is a supermarket in our area, and they have this shrimp on sale quite often at $6 a pound. It's really not bad at all, and I usually tend to stock it up. The shrimps are individually frozen, and therefore it's extremely convenient because you can use as many shrimp or as little shrimp you want. And for my wife and I'm going to use 5 shrimps because they are relatively large. And in fact, that's all I need. And they are very easy to peel. As you can see in here, the shrimp is already deveined. The reason that they sell it with the shell on, number one is that because it actually protects the shrimp against freezer burn. And secondly, you can also cook it with the shell on. But for this case, I'm cooking it without the shell. I'm going to stir fry this in my Cuisinart 14-inch stainless steel wok. And in this case, I have already fried some egg in it. In fact, you don't even need to start seasoning the wok, even if you start from scratch, because the green bean is not going to stick to the surface of the wok. So I'm going to stir fry the green bean probably only for about 20 to 30 seconds. The green beans already pretty much to the texture that I want. The stir frying will give it a little bit better flavor. And then I add the shrimp. Now the shrimp takes very little time to cook because the shrimp has the shell removed. Now you can cook the shrimp with the shell on. But when you have the shell on, that has some really interesting outcome. For those who are shrimp lovers, like myself and my wife, the texture of the shrimp is extremely important. I think there's nothing more important to a well-cooked shrimp other than the texture. The texture has to be just right. And the way how they describe the texture is that the shrimp should be bouncy. In other words, it should be firm enough, but it have some elasticity. When it becomes too firm, it lost its elasticity, then it becomes too hard. But at the same time, it cannot be too soft because that will be undercooked. It takes only about 40 to 50 seconds to cook the shrimp. Next, I'm going to season it with some oyster sauce. Now, the oyster sauce did a really good job, and the reason I like oyster sauce so much as in all my cooking, because it's truly a shortcut. It contains many of the ingredients, mainly because of the oyster extract. It gives it great umami flavor. It always makes the dish more savory. Again, you can use whatever seasoning strategy that you would like. Now for this dish, I'm going to create a sauce, a gravy-like sauce. Now cornstarch is probably the best approach in creating a sauce. One of the primary reasons is that you can control the consistency of the sauce much easier with cornstarch than using flour. And secondly, it happens very quickly. So I usually use 1 part of cornstarch to 2 parts of water. Again, you can make up as much sauces as you want. And in this case, this ratio will give a very thick sauce. The advantage of that is that you can always dilute it further with water. A cornstarch is most frequently used for this purpose, but if you are allergic to cornstarch, you can use arrowroot starch. Now, cornstarch do not dissolve in water. What you are doing is that making a cornstarch water suspension by shaking it up. Next, I'm going to add the cornstarch suspension into the wok. You can add part of it or you can add all of it, depending on how experienced you are in using cornstarch to make a sauce. Now, quite clearly, this is much thicker than what I want. And that's the one good thing about this approach is that you can dilute it readily by using some water. In this case, I use hot water. I just want to mention by this time I already shut off the heat or I turn it to low because I really do not need to cook it anymore. But I do need some heat to allow the cornstarch to gel. I continue to adjust the consistency of the sauce by adding a little bit water at a time until I reach the consistency that I want. The purpose of this sauce is that I'm going to use actually this dish on some noodles to create some type of a lo mein, and the sauce will be great to get into the noodles. In many ways, it's almost like a spaghetti sauce, and so you can adjust the consistency of the sauce to the way how you want to use it. If you want to use it in rice, you might want to change the consistency a little bit. So you might ask, what is the advantage of blanching the green beans? Now, the advantage actually is really significant because you can cook the green bean directly in the wok as you do stir frying, but of course, it will take much longer time to cook it. However, if you blanch it, you can control the consistency of the green bean exactly how you like it. It provides you much better control of how you want the green bean is going to be. And use this method, you have much confidence of how the dish is going to turn out. And then, of course, when you actually put the dish together with the stir frying with the shrimp, it takes much less time as in comparison if you do the green bean. Now, if you cook the green bean separately, you have to cook the green bean significantly longer before you put the shrimp in because the shrimp will only take 60 to 90 seconds to cook. So those are the trade-off. And I will do a little bit of both each way. But one thing it is important to remember is that the flavor will be slightly different between when you blanch the green bean versus when you stir fry the green bean directly. So you can consider this as a template. Of course, instead of using shrimp, you can using other type of protein. You can use chicken, you can use beef, you can use almost anything that you would like. But the strategy will be slightly different. In the future, I will show you how to stir fry a green bean chicken dish, and the concept is the same, but the order of when you're going to add the ingredients will be slightly different. And hopefully this template will help you to try this. If you have some green bean on hand, this dish is extremely simple to make, and you really will not take too much time. Okay, I post a video each day to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine, which you can make home cooking practical, efficient, creative, and fun using my fast cooking system, which is flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and template-based cooking. So if you would like to learn more about this cooking system, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. So keep on cooking, and I will see you tomorrow.